know you like that. I know you like that. How long you been back, man? I see the girls in the club, they're getting wild for me. And all the pretty chicks all wanna smile at me. These rap cats, man, they all got this style from me. And if I ever see them, man, they probably bow to me. And when this beat drop, I know they gon' lean. World debut, I know they gon' fiend. Everything, Mississippi to the Palm Springs. Girls from brunettes down to blonde queens. These young boys don't know what a dawn mean. I'm just a bad boy, gone clean. I'm the diamond chain choker, always remain sober. Don't drink liquor and all the game's over. Need a plane, I explained it to my broker. 3 box in the hood, top down, and ain't over. You know there's more, man, where that come from? Me and Kuda Love rolling back to back in one. See, the names have all changed since I've been around. But the game ain't the same since I left out.
Ooh, you know we made you. Ooh, you know we made you. Here's where we need you. Here's where we need you.
You know you like that. 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 See, I rep the most hot, still I'm the most fly. I win so much they wanna know who I'm coached by. Every day approached by chicks when I was multi. Wanna give me soul side, but I'm like, don't try. I see the hits and the dishes when I go by.
Come on in the building, oh.
Self-control and I can't tell you no lie. Trying to find a soulmate, you end up being so tired. I make my money, man, without the coca. Living la vida without the loca. I'm down south, so they show me country love. And I ain't even country thug. The people give me daps and hugs, so it must be love. And I love the country grub. It feel good to hear people singing welcome back. And I ain't even selling the track, cause I'm that Harlem cat. The names have all changed since I've been around, but the game ain't the same since I left out.
Ooh, you know we made you. Ooh, you know we made you. Here's where we need you. Here's where we need you.
You know you like that.
What's going on? What's going on? You know you like that. Derrick Brown, breaking news, have been signed to a 4-year deal, $96 million extension. And all I can say is, bruh, you belong here with us. To all the Carolina Panther fans that's in the building, we appreciate each and every one of you guys. It is time to come on in here, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Y'all already see what time it is. Derrick Brown is back in the building. And it's a beautiful day to be a Panther fan. Now, I'm going to just go out on a limb, and I'm going to say this right now. Derrick Brown, superstar. Like they said, shout out, where on my Timmy? Where on my Timmy content? Where's coming at? From Winnie the Pooh to Grizzly. I love it because I have watched this young man mature and come out here, and to watch this guy get the contract that he rightfully deserves makes me very happy today. Today is a sign to every Panther fan, to everybody under the sound of this voice, understanding that hard work does pay off. That's where we at with this today. Shouts out to everybody in the chat once again. If you're coming on in, do us the illustrious favor of liking the video. Hard work pays off. We are in a moment right now where we just got one of the pillars of this entire team. The best player on this entire team has been re-signed to a 4-year, $96 million extension. And yes, $63 million guaranteed right up off the front. So I want to see it in the chat right now. To everybody that's a Panther fan, are you guys excited about what you saw? I need to see some type of sign in the chat right now. Tell me how you feel. Did Dan Morgan do his his due diligence on getting this job done? Uh, how do you feel? Did he rob Peter to pay Paul? Because we all were saying once you started making some moves around here, it was time to get this guy Derrick Brown signed and get this guy put away because you don't want to play around with this guy like you played around with another guy that we had. You know who I'm speaking of. They didn't play in this guy's face. They didn't take the time to play in Derrick Brown's face. D tackles are hard to come by. And I'm gonna be real with you. It takes about 3 to 4 years for a D tackle to show any sign of significance in the NFL world because they have to bulk up, get stronger, be able to take on double teams. And this guy was exceptional at doing that. I saw it. I said a long time ago, at least you can go back to 3 years ago on this very channel from where it started. I said, give Derrick Brown his chance, give him his time. He's going to be the future of this defense when it comes to the Carolina Panthers. So, with that being said, they're locking up one of their stars. He agreed to terms per a source. Derrick Brown is here for the foreseeable future. He's set to make $24 million this year. The 25-year-old will make about $4 million less a season than the potential guy that we was supposed to pay, which was Brian Burns. You know, a lot of people were saying, hey, the money wasn't going to be here. Hey, the money wasn't going to be available to spread around to these guys because if you pay Burns, you couldn't pay nobody else. Well, Dan Morgan and Tillis has came out here and literally said we could pay anybody we set our mind to paying, whether it's Brown, Burns, or anybody. We could have paid anybody we saw fit and tagged anybody that we saw fit. So all I'm saying is Brown earned a 90.1 grade for his overall play last season. He was the highest greatest defender for our entire team. You got a guy that can come in that you can count on and be downright reliable, game in, game out. You can count on him to come in and really take his game to the next level. I'm going to be real with you guys. To me, this is a win, a plus win for the Carolina Panthers because it's hard to get one. Well, I'll put it like this. With the Carolina Panthers letting Louisville walk out of the door for practically peanuts, you let Jeremy Chin walk out of the door. Brian Burns, you used him as a trade chip to get up out of here for leverage. You had to do something that would show players in this locker room that your reward for working and playing hard here with us, somebody can get some type of payment for what they do, some type of payoff for what they do. And I'm excited today because, one, I'm a defensive guy. I've always been a defensive guy, and I'm going to be as real as I can be. I love to see defensive players get paid because that's one step in us going in the right direction. To me, defense will always win championships. I don't care how much of a passing league it turns into. You will always have defenses. Look at the Ravens. Look at San Fran right now. Look at all these teams that are competing for championships. What do they have? They have guys in place. They have defenders like Derrick Brown. They have teams that are put together, whether it's Hargrove or any of them guys that you want to name. They have bodies. And this is where the start should come from. You pay this guy. You got him locked up. Now it's time to build around this guy. If you're going to use that Philly mode around around Fletcher Cox, you take your time and you build around this guy. It's a great sign to me. It locks him up for the foreseeable future. That way you don't have to question whether or not he's going to be here. You now know that he's a part of your plans going forward. And to me, it was a must-do for the locker room. Like, I don't think people understand how much of a locker room presence that this meant to everybody. Now, I know some people are saying, hey, we re-signed him, but they may still try to move him. I don't see that happening now. Like I said, having Derrick Brown is a positive plus 5 for your defense. You know what I'm saying? Having a guy like that that can eat, take on double teams is a plus for your team. So think about it right now. The extension will kick in after his rookie deal, which is a fully guaranteed 11.6 million for this season. Think about it. This deal gives him more guaranteed money than any other defensive tackle in history. He's surpassing Chris Jones, the 60 million guarantee that Chris Jones got from the Chiefs about 4 weeks ago. The 24 million average salary that he's getting matches Quentin Williams of the Jets, the fourth highest mark. Like I say, behind Jones, Christian Wilkins, and Justin Matabuke. This is one of the ones where you look and you say, okay, it's a good deal for one of the best defensive tackles in the league, probably the best player on our roster, and you lock him up to 2028. This is a cheap deal to me because 4 years, 96 million is a lot better. Think about it. He's getting paid the $24 million a year. He probably would have got about 22 to 23 had they did a 5-year deal. Most young guys his age usually get or typically look to get a 5-year deal. But this is a win all the way around. I'm loving this move. Make sure. Sorry about got a phone call. Sorry about that. But shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you do us the favor in liking the video. Derrick Brown has been signed. Y'all come on in here and let's show that love, man, today. It's a day to show love. You right, Mike. Wipe your feet off on the back. JP said, I told y'all Morgan was trying to re-sign Brown this offseason. He said on Panthers media, look, to anybody who wondering what he's speaking of, there was a time when we were wondering if Brown was going to be out of the door behind Louvu, Burns, Chin, and a lot of the guys that we left. Not that we left, that we lost out on. But it's a good thing to see that this guy has taken his time to really, really, really try to bring in some of the guys that have been, homegrown guys, man. Shout out to everybody, though. Make sure not going to rain on anyone's parade. 336 Boston. Don't rain on the parade. Don't rain on the parade. I'm about to open it up in 1 minute. Shout out. I see everybody in the chat seeming to be loving Dan Morgan. I'm gonna hold my criticism on what Dan Morgan has done so far. I'm gonna hold that for whenever the season starts because I have I see how the way I'm looking at it, a lot of people is not going to be looking at it. But what I'm gonna say right now is it's a great start to locking up Derrick Brown long term. You just want to make sure that you're able to have how do you say this right here? You better have one hell of a draft to make sure that you pull off this off season to have bodies here in the door. Because now at 33, 39, you want to make sure you surround this guy potentially 33, 39, or in the 60s, whatever our third round pick. You surround this guy with some type of talent. Everybody knows it's no secret we're going to need an edge rusher. We're going to need a guy. I mean, y'all put it in the chat right now who you guys have your eyes on for a edge rusher that we could potentially bring in here, and where do you want to see him at? Put it in the chat right now. Where do you potentially see him at, and what round do you believe we should take him? Are you guys looking at the top pick, the first pick, to be a place that you can say, hey, I'll take an edge rusher there? Or do you want to say this is something I believe we can get at 39, or either we can get in with our 60, I think it's what, 64, 65? I think it's 64, 65. I'm going to have that up in a minute. But the number one thing is, so yeah, 39 and then 65. My man said Darius Robinson at 33. Everybody, is Darius Robinson like the consensus what everybody want to do at 33? So y'all good with that? We all good with that now. Everybody is on the consensus we need an edge rusher. So that's the top priority right now for the entire team. Y'all talk to me in the chat. My man said thunderstorm loading. Golly. 336 Boston said he ain't having it today, dog. He ain't having it. Panthers fan have lost all good faith. Yeah, you right about that. Anthony Brown, what it do, my boy? Fishball, what's happening? The real Sunchild. Gotta execute this draft. Yes, sir. Hey, Logic, what it do? He said Molten gotta come into the room and gotta have that convo. You got that right, bro. You costing us a lot of money right now. Um, so if I was to say that I'm looking at edge rushers and off the board, you got Dominius Robinson and then you got Darius Robinson, the edge rusher from Missouri. And then it's a big drop off from there to Marshawn Nealon. If y'all think that edge rusher is the number one spot that you should potentially look to take a guy, then right then and there, if you got a chance to get Chop Robinson or the other guy, you go and you get it, dog. You don't hesitate. I want to make sure we build in the trenches. I want to make sure that we take the time to get what exactly the Panthers need. And you guys are telling me right now in the chat, this right here is a chat for the people. This is a chat for the subscribers today. Shout out to everybody who has subscribed. Make sure if you want to comment today, it's on subscriber mode only. You'll have to subscribe to be able to chat. So make sure I'm getting the consensus that everybody here wants to go edge rusher now. Taking care of the trenches, taking care of the line, being able to be dominant. Derrick Brown is the guy. You want to make sure you surround him with guys that can get after the quarterback. Man, look at here. It's been a while since I have been excited about anything when it comes to the Carolina Panthers. So this, excuse me, but longevity moves that seem to be the right moves got me excited. I'm excited, man. So I'm gonna put the link in the chat to anybody who want to come up and express how they feel about this potential signing. I'll probably do you guys one at a time, probably one at a time. So if you want to come up and talk about it, give me your opinions on how you feel this thing went. That's what we're gonna do today, one at a time. So and I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna do a mock draft on this very show. I'm gonna do a mock draft. Shit, JP, you better stop that. You better stop that. You better stop that now. I'm not shaking titties, but I like Derrick Brown. I'm a defensive guy. I told y'all 3 years ago when we got this guy, he was gonna be special. And JP, you don't understand the story. When I went on this I started from this show, and I was talking about Derrick Brown. I was on another show where I would tell them Derrick Brown is coming along. Derrick Brown, you just got to make sure you put somebody on this defense beside him. And when I would do that, people would always tell me, nah, he's soft. Nah, he don't get the tackles. Nah, he don't command double teams. We should cut him. They used to tell us we should cut him. And I said, I don't see that, bro. Defensive tackle is a position you got to give time. You're just not going to get a defensive tackle top 5, top 6 in a draft and think he's going to come out and just be Indomitian Sue day one. You got to give the brother time. He's deserving of that. What's up, Mike?
What up, big dog?
What's happening? Talk to me.
I am extremely happy about the signing, but what I'm really happy about was how much it cost.
What is it with y'all at price? What is it with y'all at price?
No, it's not that. It's not the price of it. It's not me saying that. It was the fact that, you know how Gold was talking about how much, Chris Jones got paid. So I thought for sure Derrick Brown was going to take over $100 million. At least the fact that they did it early and was able to get the discount they got, that was pure genius. And the fact that I know he's here, that was the biggest thing. The fact that he's here. There was somebody that was homegrown that busted his ass every year, got better every year, and they made sure that we're not going to let this man walk out the door. They broke a habit that we've had these past years.
So, sound like to me, you shaking titties. They tell me I'm shaking titties for Derrick Brown. You shaking titties for Dan Morgan. Are you saying Dan Morgan just did the impossible?
not the impossible, but for the first time, we can say in our off season, a very, very logical and the right move was made. To me, this trumps the Javion Clowney signing. This trumps the Robert Hunt, the This trumps everything. It's cool to get those players in the door, but there was nothing more important than showing the people in the door. If we draft you and you bust your ass and you give us everything you got every year, we're not gonna let you walk. Because the trade for Derrick Brown, I was like, yeah, if they got enough for it. But what you told everybody in the locker room that even if you was our top 3 player and you bust your ass, it's not a guarantee that we gonna keep you. This was a very, I'm gonna say, a testimony to them trying to build inside the locker room. Because at first it didn't look that way. It looked like they were just gonna get rid of everybody and say the hell with it, and we just gonna get the guys that we feel should be here. This was the first time they said, nope, we're not letting one of our best players walk out the door. Like they did every single year. Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, Brian Burns. It started looking like no matter how good you were in Carolina, it didn't matter.
336 Boss to talk to me. What's going on with you, Bubba?
What's happening, guys?
All right, all right. Go ahead, give me
Yeah,
your
man.
opinion.
I'm gonna start off by, saying shout out to the Carolina Panthers front office. Shout out to this fan base. This front office is moving. We don't know how the moves are gonna, play out in the end. But, the movement that they're making is looking pretty good to me. Derrick Brown deserves every bit of this, probably more. He's earned it. But on the back end of this, I just wanted the draft capital for him. You guys got to forgive me, man. I just wanted the draft capital for him.
You wanted to get rid of him, huh?
No, not to get rid of him because it's not personal about him. He's a great player. I think he's fantastic. It's just that the position that we're in currently and moving forward, I think it would have been beneficial to the team to get the capital that he was worth. But shout out to DB, man. I mean, he earned this.
Well, now that you say that, okay, what do you think that Derrick Brown would have probably garnered on the market if you had to guess?
I know that you can at least get a first-round pick for him at bare minimum. So starting with that, it would probably be, if you're going to trade him, I would assume that it would be for a first-round pick this year. Some early picks next year.
So what a first-round pick,
what his capital would be, boy. Mm-hmm.
What a first-round pick this year, what would you have done a little differently?
I know that you have to replace him, which is going to be the tough part about all of this. That's where it kind of gets kind of sketchy, trying to replace his production as far as building the team around him too. So I can't say exactly what I would draft in the first round this year, but I think that as far as the team building goes, that capital would have been a good thing for them.
So you just had the capital just in case you wanted to find. So moving Derrick Brown.
I wanted the capital for all of these guys, though. It wasn't just Derrick Brown, though. I don't want to make it personal, like I said. It's not just Derrick Brown. I wanted the capital for all these guys because I was on team rebuild. Tear it all down, rebuild it.
Bust it all down. Yeah. Well, that's, you remember Philly. Philly did their rebuild around Fletcher Cox. They kept him. They got rid of everybody else. And then they sat there through the draft and gradually, hit free agency, gradually took their time and drafted. And they ended up popping right back into contention. So, I guess that's what they probably was potentially looking at, something of that sort.
Yeah, but they also had the picks around that to be able to, they had more bites at the apple, is what we say.
Mm-hmm. So the real Sunshine said, Earth to Panther Nation, we got other holes to fill on this team. So if you were to get back up in the first round, I don't want to put you on the spot. You or Mike could answer this. What would you potentially go after if you got back up in the first round?
Yeah, Mike.
I mean, let okay. Before I say what I try to consider, I was big on team two first round picks and nothing less, or let's say it was the
Facts.
first and second this year, because I feel like if you traded Derrick Brown for just a first round pick, you're not getting his value. So I'm gonna say that first. But if you was to, the only way that it to me would have made logical sense to trade Derrick Brown in the first round for a first round pick, if you can get up to the point where you can get one of the top defensive ends, like the cream of the crop defensive ends off the board. If you're not able to get one of those with the trade with Derrick Brown, I think that you sign him because with us only have a one pick of the next year's draft, and let's say that the year ends and Bryce doesn't pan out, you're going to draft a quarterback. Well, the problem is now you got defensive. Now you got a defensive tackle that you got a huge hole at. Then you got other holes because the the point being is you don't want to set yourself up that if your team starts succeeding, that you're not picking early in the draft to be able to get another stud to replace him. Because the
Okay.
cream of the crop is always in the early part of the draft. So if something happens and you had Derrick Brown this year and all of a sudden things start clicking, then all of a sudden you don't have an early, because I think Derrick Brown went like pick number 6, number 5 to get a cream of the crop defensive tackle. You gotta, a matter of fact, a cream of the crop any defensive player, you need like a top 12 forward on pick. So if it's not one of those picks, you don't want to trade one of the best players you have on your team and not be able to replace him with a premium impact player that's on a rookie contract. I think you'll be shooting yourself in the foot.
Okay, well, shout out to Fishbulb right here. He said that seems like such a lateral move to trade a first round player you know that is good for someone who might be good. So under the impression, I agree with Fishbulb right there. You know that Derek Brown was a known commodity. You know that he's a beast in these streets, and you'd have to wait another 4 years before you can get another guy at his caliber to be able to mature into what he is now. So
That's right.
I that's playing the patience game, um, and that's you talking to a franchise that's gone close to 7 years now without even scratching the playoffs. So,
Fact.
do we have over 11 years to really sit here and say, okay, we could have had put that into waiting another 4 years for somebody to mature to his level? Because that means if you bust all that down, and 336 Boston, and this is where I'm getting at with this. If you bust all that down, you're going to have to potentially wait another 3 4 years to get to, where you want to get to. Now, granted, you aren't winning right now either. So,
Yeah,
I
and
mean, it
that's
sounds like to me
that's the
you're going
back
to be
end of this.
wasting time anyway.
Yeah, and that's the back end of this. So you sign Derrick Brown to this contract, and if the team isn't competitive all the way up through the end of his contract, which is likely going to happen, you sign him for 90 something $million all for no reason. He's going to be at the end of his contract by the time the team's competitive.
Well, I mean, he's still a young guy. He's 22, 23 years old. We talking about a young stud. By the next time that his contract comes up in 4 years, you only be 27, 27, 28.
You
I
see,
mean,
and that's
I
what I
could
was
live with
thinking when
that
you
though.
said that. And that's what I was thinking when you said that, Q, because the
Hmm.
fact that that's why I was saying if it wasn't two first round picks, or maybe a early first and an early second this year, you're not really going anywhere. At least if you got two first round picks, you're saying, all right, I could potentially replace the production of Derrick Brown or a production of Brian Burns being gone, and at least be like next year, I've got two first round picks, so I can fill multiple holes with possible premium players. But if you're only getting like one first round pick, and let me say next year a second round pick, I don't think the move's worth it. I think you stick to what you did and you keep Derrick Brown because, like I said the other day, Derrick Browns just don't grow on trees. You're not going to just reach in the draft and automatically get a top 3 NFL defensive tackle. That's very hard to come by. Like right
I
now, if we said who's the best defensive tackles, you might be able to say one or two people that's above him.
hmm I mean, if you want to look at who's the best of the best in that position, you got Derrick Brown, Christian Wilkins, and then, like I said, it's always a toss up between what's the other guy, Dexter Lawrence and God. It's like one more guy because being that old boy retired from the Rams, like I said, now it's like a clear, you know, a full three-way, four-way race. He's definitely in the top five, but you could say him, Christian Wilkins, Dexter Lawrence, all those guys are, in that top five, man. So you got a guy that's respected around the league as the best of the best at his position. I'll take
And
it.
every defense has built their defense around that stud defensive tackle that they had on the line.
hmm
You just mentioned earlier
That's
how
a fact.
Philly did.
hmm They built around Fletcher Cox and like what they did. Now they fire sailed on a lot of other guys like they edge rushers and they got rid of a lot of people and corners and stuff like that. And then they got picks back and then they turned right back around in the draft and in 1 year, bada boom, they were right back into contention. So that's why people call it a retool when they did it because they did it so quickly. After 1 year, 2 years, basically, they were back competing for Super Bowls. So I'm gonna tell you like this: it starts here now for us because we done been through so many coaches, so many coaching staffs. You have to start turning this thing around at some point in time because the worst thing you can do is, and this is to David Tepper for anybody who's watching, the worst thing he can do is come out and fire this coach. Quentin Williams was the other guy too. Thank you, JP. Worst thing he can do is
Yeah.
come out and fire this coach, and we have to start this roster all the way over again because then you have players left over from another regime and players from that other regime that a new coach is coming in and be like, I don't know if I want them guys. And you have to keep redoing your roster, which is shooting yourself in the foot over and over. You don't want to be a cheddar Bob. You don't want to be that.
That's a fact.
And,
So it's mhm.
and to add to that point, not only the new coaching regime where you have multiple players coming in, I think it does something to the locker room. When you're in the locker room, and like Jace Horn came out and talked about how it hurt to see Brian Burns go, like it bothered him. When you're in the locker room and you're drafted by a team, and I think the morale of the other players that's on the field with you, and they see this man give everything he got, and the team that drafted him don't keep him. It's big because once you get drafted, they start their life, they start getting married, they buy their first house, they have their kids, they start building foundation in that city. So it's a morale shock when you see that player doing everything right, and all of a sudden the team is saying, we're still sending you somewhere else. We're still not. We're not investing in you, even though you gave us every reason to invest in you. And there's nothing people can say about Derrick Brown. There's no comment about Derrick Brown taking plays off last year, the year before, the year of before. He's been 100% healthy. Like, there's nothing negative anybody can say about DB at all.
That's a fact.
There's no stipulation. So it's like when you have a player like that, it's almost like you have to extend them, or you're going to
Mhm.
turn the locker room against the organization completely.
Uh Man, look, push pause for a second. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I put a poll in there for everybody asking was the DB signing a good move? And we got 100% out of close to 40 votes saying that yes, it was a good move. That right there tells you that today is a new day, a new era in trying to do. Look, there's been a lot of past mishaps and mistakes. And I think some has trickled over already for this season already. But this one move is a step, not much. It's just a step in the right direction. And I'm very proud to say that Dan Morgan didn't fuck this up for once. Thank you.
So, so
Thank
with his
you.
contract being signed and being what it is, what are you guys anticipating for Derrick Brown's season? Because you're the money man now.
Well, I don't think he's gonna have another 100 tackle season this year because he got those numbers based on us being on the offense, being with the offense being off the field so much, and the defense being on the field so much. So his numbers
Hmm.
were inflated times. Like you had games he was getting 15 and 10 tackles, and I'm like, what the hell?
That's why I wanted
Those
his
are
cap on because
linebackers. Yeah.
I don't think his value is ever going to be as high as it was this year, and that's the only reason why I was looking at it that way.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. There, you might want to push pause because oh, before I get into that, shout out to everybody in the chat. It's 25 likes on this video. It's 80 of you guys in here right now. I need 80 likes on the video. Stop what you're doing to like the video. Um, but what I need you guys to remember is JC Horn is coming up. We just had this discussion last night on Panthers After Dark. Um, it's time to understand that potentially you could be sitting down talking with this cat too to sit down and write an extension with him. So I already know how you feel about that, Mike. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, what I wanted you to do, just out of curiosity, to fill out the vibes in the chat. Can you put a poll up to see who would feel comfortable signing him a 5th-year option right now? I'm just
Well,
curious.
well, I mean, you're gonna probably have to do that because you ain't got nobody else on the team. But yeah, I'll do a poll for it.
Yeah, yeah. Do a poll. See who feels comfortable with doing it. Because, like I said last night, I got crucified for it. I got crucified for it. But
What?
in my logic, with the way the cap is going to be in the future years, in my logic, I felt that it was safer not to sign him to a 5th-year option and see if the man can play a whole season and then franchise tag him rather than sign a 5th-year option and he has another broken leg or broken wrist or twisted ankle or a paper cut that keeps him sidelined.
A paper cut, Mike. Really, really, dog. Really. You try to be funny. See, what I'm not gonna do is sit here and act like when he's not on the field, his impact is not felt. When he's
Oh
on the
no,
field, whoever he going against, he locks up. JC
I,
is
I would I, would-
clamps.
I would never say when he's on the field he is not impactful. I would
Yeah,
never even dream of saying when he's on the field that he's not that guy, because that'll be a fucking lie. My
right.
only issue with the niggas is that he's never on the field. If 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 the past 3 years he played, if he
Huh?
had at least one season that he played the whole season, I would feel a lot better
Well,
about the scenario.
look right here at this comment right here by King JP. Shout out to King JP Shepherd for this comment right here. He said, your logic was costing us $20 million instead of $12 million. So everybody knows if you sign him on the 5th-year extension, he gets $12 million. Or if you franchise tag him, is what you were saying you wanted to do, it would have been $20 million. That's
If
where I think everybody
if
has such a
if
hard time staying on page with you on.
well, the thing was, my outlook was if he played the whole season. I think people are not understanding that point. If Jace Horn plays the whole season, then I don't give a damn about the extra money I paid him. But the fact that I haven't seen him play close to a whole season, I don't want to handcuff myself to this man, because let's just use what he usually does. You sign the 5th-year option. He comes out, he plays 4 or 5 games. At the end of the year, you try to trade him. What team is going to want a player that's only playing 4 or 5 games a year?
Yeah,
What are
but
you going to get
he
back
played
in
half.
return
He
for a
played
player like
almost
that?
half a season last year. I mean, you saying 4 or 5 games to diminish the man? JC Horn played majority of the season last year. We were just
Uh,
terrible, so you wasn't really checking for him. We were terrible.
If the if the object is to wait and see, I guess you take the cheaper option.
I mean,
That's what you
that's
do.
but like I said, that was my opinion. I wasn't trying to persuade nobody. That's just the way I feel. Now, anybody has the right to their own opinion. If you feel like you signed a 5th-year option, you let him play out this year. If he's injured again, you decide whether you're going to trade the nigga for dimes and nickels or give him another year to see if he can perform on the field. It's just that if you look around the league, the Green Bay, Detroit, San Fran, Kansas City, fucking any team that's out there that's performing good, that you see Buffalo Bills, that you see consistently in the playoffs, they're not holding on to a player that goes 3 years straight being injured for the most part.
But Mike, you just named playoff caliber team that built their team correctly. We've been rebuilding and retooling and doing all that shit for the past 6 years.
Go. Just because you've been making a mistake, that don't mean you keep making the same mistake.
But that's the problem. They kept making the same mistakes over and over and over. And it's not just been because JC Horn been hurt. It's been giving away draft capital. So they didn't have the draft capital to go in there and get a corner. Because
Okay,
at that
go.
time you might have needed an edge rusher. Then you spent money trying to get the quarterback. Then you spent money trying to get offensive linemen. Not money, but draft capital. You know what I'm saying? So we I told you last night how we 37 picks since 2019.
Okay, GOAT, but none of the things that you mentioned has happened this off season. We haven't got rid of none of our draft picks. We haven't, we for the first time, we had a homegrown stud and we made sure we extended him. For the first
Oh,
time, we don't have 3 or 4 draft picks flying off the board for the next 2 or 3 years.
well, Mike, they ain't in a position to really fuck it up no more. So I mean, come on. It
So,
ain't
so,
like they can
so,
sit
so,
here and
so
say,
let me
okay,
get this
what
right.
can I do
So,
worse?
You
so
got to
wait,
test the
but let
water.
me get this right. So let me get this right. So if they do the same mistake, y'all get on their ass because they're doing the same mistake. But when they
Nah.
fucking stop doing the same mistakes, the words are, well, they have no choice now. They gotta do something different
Well, no,
because
I
at least they're
applaud
not
them for
doing it.
doing for signing Derrick Brown. You heard how I start the show off. Welcome back. I was over here. Hey, I was over here getting it. I enjoyed myself. But the number one thing you gotta understand, Mike, when you fuck up, I'm gonna be on your ass every step of the
No,
way. You put your foot up, I'm gonna be. Dan Morgan ain't like he's some crystal clean angel. So all I'm saying is to this point, okay, you moving in a direction. I understand what you're trying to do. Now, the execution of what you're trying to do, I'm gonna just sit back and watch. All I'm gonna do is sit back and watch. I'm not gonna sit here and say this is a good move or that is a good move. I need to see it take full form on the field. That's all I'm
okay.
saying.
But what we're not, but at least, all right, by every off season, the past 3 off seasons, Goat just mentioned several fucking mistakes that we kept fucking making. We kept getting rid of our draft picks. We kept rolling the dice with some seasoned quarterback that wasn't that fucking good. We kept letting all the great players fucking leave. We kept doing shit that we shouldn't have been doing. And finally, there's an off season where the motherfuckers are not making the exact same mistakes that happened the previous 3 years.
I mean, what
Can't
you
be
want a
done.
cookie, Mike? I mean, what the hell
No,
you want me
it's
to
not.
do?
No, no, no. I'm saying it's not. I don't want no fucking cookie. I'm just saying you can't just keep going back to the mistakes that was made years and years and years and bring that up every fucking
Well, that's
conversation.
why. But what I'm
Let's
saying,
talk
Mike,
about the mistakes that we're making now.
you said Green Bay, San Francisco. You named all these teams, and you said they don't do that. They wasn't in the position that we was in. They didn't make the mistakes that we made. That's the only reason why I went back to reference that. because we
Okay.
got the reference. What got you here? You had to leave. You
So
had to leave from somewhere.
Yeah, well,
so you made several mistakes. You start making them. So do see they say NFL's a copycat league. That's what they say. NFL's a copycat league where they see one team doing successful, the other team does to try to be successful. So if you
Hmm.
stop fucking up and you start doing the same blueprint everybody else is doing, stop letting your good players go, stop sacrificing your draft capital, make sure you get some motherfucking impact players so you can actually draft the best player available for your draft. So you start
Yes,
doing
sir.
that shit. So the
well,
next step is the
well,
next
well,
step
well,
is
well, well,
you
well,
look
hold on,
around the
slow your roll, Mike, slow your roll. We don't know that for certain until we see it on the field. It's a little premature to say that they get
you right.
impact players when you
You
haven't seen any of these guys on the field. So you better
okay.
pump your
Okay.
brakes a
So
little bit.
so you do what you can to sow up as much as you can on free agency. You make sure you don't sacrifice no draft picks. You do your best to get the best team that you feel like you can build on paper. The next step is if we have players that we can't get on the field because no other team that's successful is keeping players around that they can't play because like your man Jamal Adams in Seattle Seahawks, the man was when he's on the field, he is fucking amazing. But even Seattle finally had to realize, nigga, we fucking up. This nigga's never on the fucking field. But we keep this nigga here every fucking year, hoping that
So,
one day he's just gonna be healed
so,
and
so,
he's
so,
gonna
so,
play
Mike,
fucking football.
you take me all around the world and back to mention what about JC Horn?
I'm saying if you handcuff the nigga for a fifth year option and next year he doesn't perform because he's not on the field because he's hurt again. What is the move? The very next. What's your next move next offseason?
Bro, it's a
You
proven
Got him.
deal. You're gonna have to prove us that you worthy to get a contract or you not. It's as simple as you waking up and breathing air. You gotta prove you worthy to wake up out here and go to your job and be able to get a check or not you get fired. It's simple. Come on, bro. He has to come out this year. Once they exercise it on him, they say, okay, we're gonna see if he's gonna stay healthy. And if he do stay healthy, we're gonna take our time and give it to him as we see him do it. If he does, now this is where I hope you understand. Cause if the bitch come out here and play a whole goddamn season and he get a Pro Bowl in the mix of it, you do know they're gonna re-sign him long term. I hope you understand that.
yeah.
That's all I'm saying. So you better prepare yourself for the good side and the bad side, Mike. So you
Okay.
can't go tunnel vision on you just want JC Horn off the team because I understand
That,
you looking at the aspect of he hasn't played many games, but you fighting a losing battle when in a league where it's a quarterback driven league. If you can get a cornerback on your field for at least half the games of the season, you'll be happy. Especially us with
okay.
2 of 15. It
All
ain't
right.
like
Well,
we a good team for other corners in the NFL to come knocking down the door to come to. So
you know what?
Nobody's knocking down the
No, the
door.
other person that's thinking
thank
like this.
you.
Nah, nobody knocking on
No,
the
but you
door.
know who else is
Nobody.
thinking like this? No. We know who else is thinking like this? Dan
Who
Morgan. Because he got asked about Jace Horn. And he said, we haven't made a decision yet if we're going to sign him for a fifth year option.
he gonna have to
Exactly.
see it, dog. You just don't go out here and Sam Donald and get this nigga a contract before he play. No, he gonna
Bro,
have to show us.
you gotta sign a fifth year option in 3 weeks. What are you talking about?
It's $12 million, man. What's your gripe is? What's the gripe? What's the
Hey,
fucking gripe?
Because
Cornerbacks in the league go for $16 million starting off, starting caliber cornerbacks. So you get one already on a discount price off of a rookie deal. What the fuck is you whining about?
nigga, he's
Yeah.
here for this year. That's what I'm saying.
So you
He's
don't want the
already
nigga
on
on the team at
contract for this
all.
year.
You don't want the nigga on the team
No,
at
no,
all.
that's
Is what
not
you
what I
saying?
said. That's not what I said.
You
That
say
we're not
he's
twisting my
here.
fucking words. That's not
No,
what I
I'm
said.
not
He's
twisting your
here.
words.
This
I'm
year he
listening to
has to
what
be
you
here.
said out your mouth. I said simple as that. He has to. The 3 weeks they have to pick up the fifth year option. Bada boom. $12 million to
Q,
him once he gets the
Q,
5th-year option.
Q,
What are you
Q,
whining about? What am I not
Q,
getting?
Q. If they don't sign the 5th year, give him the 5th-year option. No, he still got to fucking play this year.
Mike, whether
Now
he
answer
get
the
the fifth,
question.
if he get the
Answer the
5th-year
question.
option, he got to go out on the field, Mike. And
If he
that'll
don't,
determine if he get a contract or not after that, Mike.
bro,
What are
what
you
I'm saying,
talking about?
what I'm saying is, even if you don't sign the 5th-year option, the man
Yes,
has
he
to
still
play this
plays
year.
this year.
All right,
He
Mike. I'm
still
not gonna
plays
He
this
spend
year.
still
much
got
more
to play
time
this
on
year.
this. I'm
Yeah, he
not gonna
still plays
spend
this
much
year.
more time because what to everybody who watching, you got 3 weeks to sign him on the 5th-year option. They're gonna give him probably the 5th-year option because they aren't pushing him out the door. You give him the 5th-year
They
option,
don't
he'll
have any
come back and
replacements.
they don't have a replacement. I done tell Mike this shit 12 times. He acting like this shit in braille or some shit. Like I'm
No,
saying it
it's
in
not.
another language.
It's not that it's in braille. It's the fact. What I'm saying is, no matter what, the niggas got to play this year.
Mike, I'm not gonna
No
spend all
matter
day
what,
on
the
this shit
nigga
because you
Yes,
has to
don't get
play
it.
this
but
year.
I'm not gonna spend all day on this shit because you don't get it
Okay,
now.
then don't
I'm
get it.
not.
I mean,
I'm not.
it's my point of
I'm not
view.
gonna
I'm
spend
not.
all goddamn day.
Then don't. I'm not changing my point of view.
It's English. It's
nobody
simple mathematics.
asked you.
1 + 1 is 2, motherfucker. What you mean?
I'm
Nobody
not
say
changing my point
change
of
your
view.
point of view. Nobody ain't asking you to change your point of view. You're right by
Then what are we
saying
debating?
yes, he has to play. He has to play this year regardless because he
So
signed a
I don't
rookie
have to
contract
sign
just
a
for
nigga a
4 years.
5th-year option in order this nigga to
No,
play
you
this year.
don't.
Okay then.
No, you don't. You're right.
So I'm
You're right.
not
But you're
giving a
gonna
nigga
be
a 5th-year option.
But the
you're in a
crucial
tough spot
question
if you
was this
don't.
right here. Now, what if he plays all 17 games lights the fuck out? Then what you doing?
You know what? I believe I'm gonna catch a unicorn this fucking week. Cause I got a
No,
better
nobody didn't
chance
ask
of
you that.
catching a
Nobody didn't
unicorn
ask you
than
that.
I got
Nobody.
to see this
Ha ha
nigga play
ha
a
ha
whole
ha ha
year.
ha. Nobody didn't
Mike, what
ask
the
you that.
fuck is you talking
What I
about?
fucking asked was what do you do now when he plays all 17 games lights out?
I franchise tag him, and I'm okay with that.
Why would you
I'm okay
franchise
with that.
tag him for more money yearly when you could just sit here and say, okay, I'll give you a 1-year deal or 2-year deal, and you come out and you play your 2-year deal. We did it for Jackson. We did it for Jackson. He was injured every fucking year, and
And
we
where's
kept
he
giving
at
him a
now?
2-year, $12 million deal.
And where's he
Come
at
on.
now? We did the same thing with Sam Darnold. We gave the nigga a
They
5th-year
traded
option,
him
and where's
for a
he at now?
disgruntled. They traded him for a disgruntled receiver that they needed for your quarterback. So that's where he's at now.
And Sam
Yeah.
Darnold, what happened with that scenario? He was hurt
There's
every year
a
too.
dumb motherfucker named Matt Rule that decided to pick up his 5th-year option when we didn't even need to pick up
Yeah.
his 5th-year option. He could have played off of this
And
damn
that's what I'm
last
saying.
year's contract. That's the
And,
Yeah.
difference.
And
and if
that's some of that
and
draft
okay,
capital that I was talking
now
about
pause.
earlier
If
that
Sam
was taken
Darnold
away.
would have played out his last
Yep.
year of his contract and he actually played fucking good, what would he done?
They
What
would have
would have
gave him a
Carolina
deal.
did?
Mike,
They would
They
have
would
gave him a deal.
Mike,
All right then.
9 times
All
out of
right
10,
then.
can we agree on this? That 9 times out of 10, picking up the 5th-year option on a questionable guy, which they do it all the time. They do it all the time. But picking up the 5th-year option, that's why it's called an option. Picking up the 5th-year option on a questionable guy, that's why it exists. If he hits, I go ahead and sign him for less money than I would if I tag him or if he goes in the market. That's what it's all about.
Didn't they didn't they pick up his 5th-year option immediately though?
You
Who?
talking about Sam
Yeah,
Darnold? Yeah,
because
they pick his
because
shit up
Yeah,
immediately.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
They didn't
See,
have
that
to
was
Because
the
though.
when
They
he
issue
could
with
have
got
let
it.
him
here,
play it
Yeah, that was
out.
the
yeah,
issue with that. Yeah.
It was a stupid
yeah, when
ass
he got
move.
here, it was almost at the deadline. When he got here, as soon as he got here, it was almost at the
Okay.
deadline. It was like a week or two. We had to make a decision before
So
he played a
so I
game.
just want to say, if you pick up the 5th-year option and this nigga only played 5 games, how you gonna fit?
What's a gamble?
What part of this you ain't understanding, Mike? You asking me the same goddamn question you asked me over and over and over and over. It's $12 million for an NFL corner. You do know that's a discounted price. Whether he on the field or not, that's a discounted price, dog. You got
Okay.
Stephon Gilmore who about to sign away for $11 million. So you getting a young guy in JC at 30. Now be mindful, at 33, Stephon Gilmore looking for a deal for $11 million, $10 million, $11 million in that area.
Mm-hmm.
You got JC who is 23, 24 years old, and he looking for a deal. But potentially he gonna get
Yeah,
the $12 million, dog. It's just $12 million. You just got rid of D-Jack's money of $16 million, and he was an injury-prone ass corner. So what's the problem, Mike? Why do we
And he
pocket
got a
watch so
contract
much in
actually.
Carolina? Like, what's up
It
with the
wasn't even a
pocket
5th-year
watching?
option for Dante though. We actually signed Dante to a full contract. It wasn't even a 5th-year option
Yeah,
type of thing.
yeah.
yeah. He had when
Knowing
Dante
that
had
he
went
was
into the
injured.
market.
They
Yeah, he
signed
went
this
into the
cat
market.
with a
Man,
groin. He had a groin that year because Terry McLaurin beat his tail up, and Jalen Waddle ate him up that year, and they turned right back around and signed that cat to a damn 2-year deal. Come on, dog.
Yeah, they did.
Like, we haven't done this before. You didn't complain and grumble when D Jackson been getting all that money. So why you so upset now?
Nigga, I went on the podcast when he got that money.
Yeah, but you ain't bring it up. You ain't brought it up. He shouldn't be getting the money. You kept that shit
Nigga,
tight.
no, it's not about the fucking money. Obviously, it's not about the
Yes,
money.
it
If
is.
I
It's
say that,
about you keep bringing up the damn money, so it's
no,
always about the money.
it can't be about the money. If I said then if the nigga play a full season, I would franchise him. What the
You
fuck?
said get a nigga
I
$20
literally
million.
said if the nigga played a full season, I would franchise tag him and give him 20 million. It can't be about the money. It's all about the nigga not being
Mike,
on the field.
you all over the place. I don't know what the hell is your gripe. That's why I keep asking you, what is the goddamn problem?
I keep saying it. The nigga's never on the field. If the nigga played 14 games next year, I would be cool. If the nigga ever played 14 games in a single season, I wouldn't be saying shit. But when it's
Hold on.
57 games and you barely played 20, there's an issue.
Shout out to the real HHENT for that super chat. We appreciate you, brother. And if you watch right now, make sure you like this video. He said it won't if it don't work. 12 million isn't a big deal, dog. It's a gamble. I
Okay, well,
mean, Mike,
look. It's my opinion. It's
you
the
see
way
this
I
right
think.
here?
It's
You
the way I
weighing
look at
options.
it.
You see this right here? You weighing options. Left, right. Keep them. Pay them. Don't pay them. Pay them. Don't pay them.
I'm not
It's
weighing no
weighing
options.
options,
I'm
dog.
standing exactly where the fuck I'm standing, and y'all feel the way you feel. Move
So
on to
you
the
do
next
this when you go to
subject.
the grocery store? You do this when you go to the grocery store? Should I get apples or should I not get apples today? Oh, you stand there for 5 hours. What do you do, Mike?
No,
Huh?
my nigga. I knew I made my
Huh?
mind up. Last night I made it
Huh?
up. Last week I made it up. A month ago I made it up. I haven't moved from the same spot. Kiss
You
my
know,
ass and move on to the
if
next
this
subject.
apple rot, if
hey,
this apple rot in an hour, I'm gonna take it back. I just spent 15 cents. Come on, Mike, man.
15 cents on an apple.
Yeah,
Oh my God! Why did I pay that
we
for that
not.
apple?
Yeah,
I don't give a
we
damn
are
about
not
none
in
of
a
the shit y'all
position.
talking right
We are
now.
not in
Just
a
move on to the
position to
next
look at the
subject
shit like
because
this
I feel the way I feel.
in
I don't give a
Carolina.
shit.
You a hard head motherfucker, Mike. You
Yeah,
ain't got to be
Absolutely
like
fucking
that.
right.
yeah. To the next subject. Go to the next subject.
Oh my God! So what we were talking about was JC Horn. When it gets time for JC Horn to get his time to come around, what was the potentials of him getting a deal? And like I said, Mike has already taken that and ran with it. So now go. We never really per se got your opinion on it. And then, like I said, we'll go to the next thing. But what is your opinion on when it comes to that aspect of everything?
Well, me myself, I'm clearly like everybody else. I'm gonna exercise the 5th year option, which he's gonna pay on the 4th year. If he don't, if he gets injured again, plays 5 games, 2 games, whatever. When he comes back on the 5th year option, I can either shop him or release him. If I do it at a certain time, it's not gonna go against the cap. And that's what they thinking. And that's how they gonna do it. Because it's a cheaper option than either because we can't go on the draft because we don't have the draft capital. Or if they do get a guy at 39 or something, maybe by the time this year plays out or next year comes in, hey, he'll be ready to play. He'll be our number 1 corner. That's what we're looking at. That's the predicament we in Carolina.
So check this out, and I'm This was put on Twitter, and it's from Mike K. And they said that now this is interesting. From Mike K. They said the Panthers, both locally and nationally, were worried about the perception of players after they failed to pay Burns and trade CMC and
So,
DJ Moore away.
huh?
They said Derrick
What I'm
Brown
asking?
isn't charismatic in the locker room. He's not going to blow you away with splash play numbers. He isn't going to be a regular subject on talk shows, but I'd argue he's one of the most respected guys in the locker room, a homegrown face of the franchise, a guy who does a lot of good work in the community. He is being re-signed and is huge for the locker room in the Canales Morgan era. He's now being rewarded and earned the reward of others. Young players will see that. Then they also went around to say they went around the locker room to get players' votes on MVP, and Derrick Brown received 33 out of 50 votes, and he was the only team's Pro Bowler. So the number one thing they were saying that this move right here seemed to be they wanted to make sure that they weren't looked at in a
Can I
funny
say?
way.
Can I say? Can I say? Would you
Yeah.
agree that was a PR move?
And
Public
I'll
Yeah,
share
it's for
this.
the culture.
I'll
Thank you.
Yeah.
share this right
Thank you.
here to let everybody know I did not make that up. I did not make that up. It's a whole writing right here by Mike K. And I'll show you guys this right here. See the actual green check off of Twitter. Mike K put
Mike
that
K
up
needs
there.
to take out he needs to take out Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore's name because we paid both of those guys.
Hey Q,
Uh-huh.
didn't I just say that about the morale of the locker room?
Mm-hmm.
I was
He
just
damn sure
saying that
did.
you know what I mean.
That
People gonna feel some type of way when you see a player doing everything they supposed to do and they don't sign them. And then motherfuckers getting
But who?
drafted ain't gonna have the morale. The people in the locker room ain't gonna have the morale. They needed to do this.
is a
Mm-hmm.
PR
Yeah,
move, man.
I
It was a
So
I
public
think y'all are
relations
more
move. It's
focused
a
on the
PR.
names because we haven't had like superstar players that we just don't sign like that often, guys. It's not. It doesn't just happen that
No.
often like that, and it's
Well,
very
shit.
rare that we actually have legit. Well, hold on, guys. It's very rare that we actually have legit superstars as far as the NFL spectrum is concerned. Anyway, like to the fan base, these guys are superstars. But when you look at it on the actual national scale, most of these guys are mid tier.
all right,
Okay,
go ahead, go.
So which one are you? Who are you talking about as a mid tier?
He talking about
No, I'm
Burns and
just
them
saying, just
boys
in general, like
in general.
it's nobody in to be specific, but we don't just have all-star talent all the time that we just don't sign because we don't want to pay them. It doesn't happen that often.
Well,
Like we pay the majority of the
yeah,
best players that we
I
have on
think
our team, and we keep them
no,
past the point of where they're too good.
no. Can't say around that round here lately. The last 6 years when we've been messing up, we haven't done it 3-3-6. We haven't
But
I
done it.
who have
think
we released that was
I
an
think
actual
what he's saying
superstar talent
is
now?
I think what he's
What?
saying is actually it's like a gray area. We'll sign them, but then we'll trade them and not get much for them. Like we signed Christian McCaffrey, but we didn't get at least a first round pick for him. We signed DJ
Right, but the
Moore.
compensation is on our end. We actually pay these guys, is what I'm saying,
Yeah,
regardless
yeah,
of whether
we
we
pay
trade them or
them.
not. These guys do
Yeah,
actually get paid.
like every regime ends up trading off a top player. The Matt Rule shit got rid of Christian McCaffrey. The Frank Wright shit got rid of DJ Moore. So he's kind of right on a certain level that we'll pay the guys, but we don't keep them after we pay them.
Well, I'll
Burns
tell
is
you
the
like
first
this.
guy like that in recent memory that I can say we didn't actually pay.
So let me ask you another question on another player that's going to be looking for a contract. There's a guy by the name of Chuba Hubbard. He's your running back one right now, even though he's considered a backup in the league. Do you give him money if he comes out here and he has a similar season to what he had last year? 900
It's
yards
likely
or
Chuba's
better.
going to have a good year this year. So I don't know I don't know where that stands. It's very likely he's going to have another good year this year.
You
Probably better
consider
than the
last
year he had
year?
last year.
You think last year was a good year for him?
I mean, it was a decent year considering the run lanes that we had. I mean, you give the guy 900 yards with an offensive line that wasn't blocking so well.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
their
you put
strengths
that.
was
I
run
mean, just
blocking
about.
though, so they did that good last year.
But I mean, if you watch the tape, you can see a lot more than just to say that this was their strength the year before. Like it was a lot that happened in that line.
Mm. Okay.
I'm gonna be real with you. If you not an elite running back, I'm not paying you.
I agree with
That's
that,
just
Mike.
my personal preference. If you're not an elite, a type of running back that I can depend on you damn near to carry the offense to the playoff, like a Saquon Barkley, a Derrick Henry, or someone in that status, or Christian McCaffrey, I'm not paying
But
you.
those teams aren't winning though. Those teams aren't winning. They didn't win with Derrick Henry running the ball. They didn't
They
win with
didn't
Saquon
win.
Barkley running the ball.
They
I
As
mean,
didn't
that's
talented
because
as
of
win.
the
those
rest
guys
of the
Wait,
are.
wait,
team was
wait, wait,
terrible.
wait,
Exactly.
wait, wait,
I know that, but you
Exactly.
wait,
give those guys a
wait,
lot of money when
wait,
you sign them, and then your team
wait.
still isn't winning.
I gotta push back on that. I gotta push back on that because I saw Derrick Henry carry the Titans to the playoff damn near 4 years in a
Yeah, yeah,
row.
yeah, yes,
I,
he did.
To
And
the
the draft
I
playoffs.
stat
now
336,
pause,
check
pause.
336.
And
It's like
Ryan
this right here.
Tannehill
If you
was the
decide
reason
to
why they
put
end up losing in the
this
playoffs.
record
I
book
saw
One at a
Saquon
time,
Barkley.
fellas. One at a time. One at
if
a
you don't
time.
put this is the ultimate team sport. 11 guys on the field. A Derrick Henry by himself. Hell, Mahomes by himself is not gonna get you nothing. Joe Burrow by himself is not gonna get you nothing. You have to put pieces around these guys. Just like Mike said.
That's agreed, but
Derrick
that it's
Henry.
different when you're talking about the quarterback position and the running back position, though.
I mean,
Who you
Saquon
gonna put
Barkley
a
just a year
quarterback with
ago took
nobody else?
New York. Saquon Barkley ran the New York Giants to the playoffs just 2 years ago.
First round playoffs don't really mean anything to me, especially when you're talking about a running
I
back too.
mean, they won the first round game and they beat Minnesota
And then you go home.
because your quarterback
That's
is
that's
Daniel
the end of the
Jones.
story, though.
Because
Right,
your
but you're
quarterback
also
is
paying
Daniel
Saquon how
Jones.
much money? How much are you paying Saquon?
They didn't pay Saquon. That's why Saquon's not there anymore. They decided to
I'm saying,
franchise
how much do you
Saquon.
pay a type of back like that? Not specifically New York. How much money do you give a back like that? How much money did we give Christian McCaffrey? We didn't win with Christian. As great
Oh,
as
we
these
didn't have
running
a
backs are,
quarterback.
the league is
I
moving on,
mean,
man. You got to understand that.
Okay,
I
all right,
understand that,
but
three
but
but
you
three
don't
gotta
you
three
you
think it's
gotta
six.
you gotta
don't you
say the
think it's
rest of the
funny though?
context. You gotta say the rest of
Okay,
the
but don't you think
context.
it's funny with every one of these running backs that you're naming? Don't you think it's funny that the teams that they're on they don't have quarterbacks?
Okay, well
Derrick
let's
Henry
go with
had
San
Ryan
Fran.
Tannehill. Christian
Let's go
McCaffrey
with
had who?
let's go with San Fran, and they
Christian
got
just
Christian
got there. Don't pick
McCaffrey.
out the anomaly. Don't pick out the anomaly. Christian just got there. Don't pick out the anomaly. There's
Oh,
way
so
more
you
teams
want
with
me to
these all-star
say
running backs who are
you want
losing.
to say an all-star running back that was a part of a team that either went to a Super Bowl or went deep in the playoffs? Todd Gurley.
You talking about with the Rams?
Facts. He was better than Christian McCaffrey those 2 years they went to the playoffs and went to the Super Bowl.
All right, so how far of a gap is it between Todd Gurley and the Rams and where we're at today? That's
I
quite a
mean,
few years ago.
that was only
Okay.
5, 6 years ago. That wasn't too
What
long ago, bro.
Right.
so what I'm
Once we
saying
started
is
So are
losing.
there way more teams? So are there way more teams with these all-star running backs getting all this money losing? Or are there very few anomalies where you can pick out these specific teams and say, well, San Fran did it, or the Rams did it, or this team did it. There's way more
Well,
teams who are losing with all-star running
three
backs right now.
336. I'm gonna tell you like this right here. It's not our fault that we lost everything and all we had was Christian McCaffrey and decided to build the entire roster around a running back. But you got to look at
Exactly.
it.
That's a
He was a
fact.
dual army Swiss knife. He was a receiver slash running back because he got 1,000 doing the job of two men. So he was an
Yeah,
exceptional running back that was damn near on a Hall of Fame trajectory. You're supposed to keep
that's
a
a
guy
fact.
like that because yes, he was owed his money because he's that damn good. I hope you understand. He left here and went to San Fran, and there was no drop off. He has gotten better over the years, and he's entering his prime. So I mean, this is
Yeah.
the thing when you look at when you got a talent like Christian McCaffrey. Yes, he was on the team with no quarterback, but it wasn't his goddamn fault. He got Sam Donald in the crew. It was our fault,
Yeah, and it's never
management.
their fault. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
fact. It's never those guys' fault. It's not Derrick Henry's fault that they had Tannehill for all those years. It just
Okay, so
happens that
here's
way.
a so here's a more logical question in my opinion. If you took Saquon Barkley and he was on the Buffalo Bills, what do you think the results would have been?
They'd be a much better team. Absolutely agree.
You know what I'm saying? It's like they and you're right. It sucks that
But
these
see, the
running backs
problem is,
get these
can you
fucked
pay
up
Josh
hands.
Allen? Can you pay Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, Stephon Diggs? Can you pay all these guys? You got Knox and all of
Well,
those
well,
guys.
technically
That's the
now you
reason why you
can
either
because
pick the
running
running back
backs ain't
or
getting
pick the
paid shit.
quarterback.
Like the last
Well, they are
contract
now.
Saquon Barkley had was $9 million for 1 year. You can afford $9 million on your team for one fucking year.
What's his contract now?
That's a
Hold on.
good question.
I'll
I
I'll
need
look it up.
somebody in the
Hold on.
yeah.
I
That's
got
a
you.
good question because
Saquon.
a lot of run. Matter of fact, Stephen A. Smith, the whole ESPN, there was a whole lot of people that was coming out talking about how the disrespect running backs was getting because they wasn't getting paid anymore. That the only top quarter running backs that was still getting paid was Derrick Henry and Christian McCaffrey. Saquon
Y'all
Barkley
ready?
couldn't get a check. Josh, yeah,
So he's on a 3-year, $37 million deal with the Philadelphia Eagles right now for the $11 million signing bonus, $26 million guaranteed. So 3 year, 37 million. You do the math on that, it's a little over 11.6 per year.
that's not that much compared to when running backs was getting 17 million a year. And here's another one, Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs was on the only bright spot on the Las Vegas Raiders when he broke the running record 2 years ago.
Right.
And he had got only like $10 million to come back for one more year. It was the running backs was cheap as fuck last year. Matter of fact, it was funny as fuck because I kept saying like these niggas are discounts now, and people thought I was
Somebody got
crazy when I
in the
said we should
background.
go get
Yeah,
another running back.
you got a little
What
bit
up?
of noise, Mike. But what? How does this pertain to
Background.
Chuba Hubbard?
Excuse
I
me,
asked a
baby.
simple question: are we going to sign or re-sign a guy like Chuba Hubbard for the Carolina Panthers? So yeah, we got a
I,
little bit sidetracked with all the contract talk and all that stuff with everything. But let's really back into our team and where we sit at. Chuba Hubbard, are you going to pay this guy if he comes out and have a decent year?
what's his deal look
I
like
think you
though?
draft.
Like,
I
what
think
does
you
a
draft
contract
a
look
running
like
back.
for Chuba?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
he
you
on
draft.
a rookie deal right now. He barely getting a couple of 100,000 right now. So he looking for his first payday of his career.
Yeah, I think you draft a running back, man. This is a new era. If you
Yeah,
call yourself rebuilding and cleaning up, you draft a running back.
I would. I would not. And this is what I would do. I would go and get a Braylon Allen or Brooks or one of them guys that's in this draft in the
Facts.
third round, and I would put
Yeah,
him out here with Miles Sanders and let them be a 1-2 punch. Let one catch out the backfield, allow another one to be a power running back, and come out here and really do behind this offensive line. Let them go and see what they can get done. That's all I would do if I was the Carolina Panthers.
I
Facts.
signed Chuba.
Because Braylon Allen, that nigga's about 240 pounds. That is a Mack truck
He's
coming
a
behind
bruiser.
from behind the line. That is a Mack truck. And I don't give a damn who you are. When it gets to the third quarter and fourth quarter, you're gonna start making a business decision when this nigga's running at you full force. And you gotta and it almost go he's almost perfect for the Carolina Panthers slogan. Keep pounding. Cause sooner or later this nigga's gonna break through because you're gonna be tired of hitting this big ass Mack truck coming from behind the line. The
But
nigga's the
I'm
size of a
worried.
linebacker.
I'm worried because two teams just brought him in. From the word to the grapevine, the Dallas Cowboys just brought him in day before yesterday, and the Broncos brought him in yesterday. For
and they
visits.
might
So,
they might do
whew,
that because their fan base was mad as hell that they didn't pick
mm-hmm,
up Derrick Henry or Saquon or somebody. They was mad.
mm-hmm. Yeah, so shout out to everybody in the chat right now. It's 95 of you guys. It was just 100. Make sure y'all do us a favor and like the video. It's 93 of you guys right now. Like the video right now. You have no idea what it does for the algorithm. It keeps us going in place, and we want to make sure we keep bringing you the freshest content out there on these streets. Look, if you are watching right now and you in the chat, put it in the chat right now if you think we should re-sign Chuba or should we look to the draft to get a young player in. That's the next poll that I'll be putting in the chat for you guys. So make sure you keep your eyes out. Also, the poll that's going right now, are you okay with extending JC Horn on a 5th-year option? Look, 64% of you guys say yes. 33% say no. And then you got 3% that says no way. So shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate your chat participation today. It is so vital to getting that. Make sure you do us the favor and like the video.
Q, I will
The thing
resign
about
Chuba.
Chuba Hubbard is,
I will.
I think he.
I will
Go
resign
ahead.
Chuba. Yeah, I will
Oh,
resign
okay.
him. Chuba's been
And why
he's
is
been a
that?
healthy back. He's been healthy. He's still young. I think you can get him on a cheap deal.
Uh-huh.
He is productive. I don't think that he's your starting back going forward, but I
So
think that you
you're
can
gonna
use him.
you're gonna re-sign him to not be a starting caliber back after you have already paid Miles Sanders on a 3-year deal. I think he already got his money.
4-year
Well,
deal.
see, in
So
my mind, Miles Sanders doesn't
4
exist.
year.
Yeah.
Well, you can't
I
sit
want to
it.
take the
No,
cap hit on,
no,
on Miles Sanders. I really don't care. But I'm just talking
you
about for
can't.
me personally.
You can't say Miles don't exist because that'll be dead cap money, bro. We
We
already
got
shot
dead cap
ourselves
money.
in the. So you want more? That's what you say.
I mean, you can get it back.
What the hell?
Listen, man. Listen, dude. Miles Sanders had a terrible year last year. I mean, it was terrible
That's how,
all
hey,
year long.
336. That's how you do them credit cards in your pocket.
No, sir.
Finally, somebody
Okay
offered my
then.
ass.
Okay then. Okay
I,
then.
I,
No,
knew,
How
I
the
sir.
knew it
hell?
was coming.
Why you want to run a team like that? Why you want to run a team like that when you don't do them credit cards in your pocket like that? Build
336,
Because
motherfuckers
I
when
like that,
players
appreciate you.
man.
have terrible production, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
So this sound
Now, I
like
mean, it varies per
emotion.
cap
Three three
hit. Now,
six. I'm just telling you, it sound like
it's
emotion.
production.
That
It's production. It's a
I understand
production-based
that, but
business.
you already signed this cat to a 4-year deal, and you're saying chop him after 1 year, pay the $6 million per year. You give him a $24 million deal. So now you're saying I could just sit here and throw away money and be mindful. We didn't have the most money as it is. We already got guys on the dead cap, and you telling me add to that dead cap some more.
No,
So
I'm
that
trying to figure. I'm tripping on the part where he said re-sign him as the backup running back. That's the part that fucked me up. we gonna re-sign him as the backup running back instead of drafting one of the running backs in the fucking draft that can probably do what he does. We gonna re-sign him as a backup. I ain't never heard nobody say re-sign a backup. Goddamn it, unless it's the
So,
quarterback.
so,
he dropped
but
out on
you
that one,
gotta
so I'm gonna let him
understand this.
have that one.
Yeah, you gotta understand this. Mike and Q. They brought Brent Tillis here for one thing and one thing only, one sole purpose, to do what he doing right now. To take that pencil. It's a pencil now. It ain't no damn pen, cause it's a pencil now. Cause it's got erase on that motherfucker. Cause they acting like shit don't exist no more. You know what I'm saying? To erase everything, move that shit around, move it here, there, put it, hide it for a little while, put it back on the books, run 2 books. I don't know what he doing. But they brought him in to work his magic just like he doing right now. And
I,
that's
I
it.
mean,
So,
I mean, and the reason why I'm big on not paying a running back because if you look around the league, except for San Fran, all the teams that's having good success, they got running back by committee. Detroit, running back by committee. Uh,
Yeah, but look what they did. They drafted their young running back. They went in the first, second round and say, "Hey, this guy is our foreseeable future guy. We're not gonna pay a running back for
uh-huh.
at least 4 years, especially if you take him in the first round. And they, like I said, they got early. Bryce Young boy They got him early over there in Detroit, so they can exercise the fifth year option and not have to worry about ever giving him a big contract for 5 years.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Run him.
Run him in the ground.
but they did this. But there's a lot of potential running backs like Isaiah Pacheco in Kansas City. I think they got that boy in the fourth round.
Ooh,
I mean, you
Pachenko.
can.
Pachenko is later than that. I thought that cat was like a 6th round pick.
He might have been, but I know he wasn't earlier than fourth round. So it's like you can, and if you look at most mock drafts, they don't have a running back coming off the board because damn near the end of the second round. So
Isaiah
and then
Pachenko was in the 7th round, a seventh
seventh
round
round,
pick.
okay then,
Ooh, 200
okay then,
pick number 251.
okay then. Wh-
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's you don't have to go. I say this a lot, and I think people don't like it when I say it. You don't have to go really early on a running back. If you got an early fourth round pick or a late third round pick, you can probably hit a guy at running back, especially if it's deep. If it's a deep
Well,
draft like this year, you can grab a nice one.
I disagree with you, Mike, on that because Isaiah Pachenko runs so hard because he has number 15 that he want to make sure that he helps out win another Super Bowl. When you got a Herculean
Hmm.
talent at quarterback, think about it. Guys ran harder for Tom Brady. Guys ran harder for Drew Brees. Look, I hate to say it, but if you don't have that talent and you looking around and you picking a guy fifth, sixth round, they're gonna be project guys. They're less likely to come out here and boom, just burst into the scene and be a hell of a player. They got lucky with Pachenko, but you gotta also look, they whipped him up into shape. I mean, when you around that type of talent and that type of team where you can come along as well, you're not having to be the pressure on you being the focal point of nothing, then yes, you can relax a little something. I hate to say it.
Well, no, I feel that. I just feel that there's so many positions of that's going to trump
Yeah.
running back in this draft, as loaded as it is, that the running backs are going to get pushed back. Like there's a whole lot of receivers that's going to run off the board, whole lot of offensive linemen, whole lot of defensive end, whole lot of defensive tackles. There's those premium positions that's going to have to be filled. That's going to push the talent back of the running backs. Is they're going to push them back. Honestly, if Jonathan Brooks goes in the second round, it'll shock me.
I'm gonna be real with you. There will be some running back. I don't know why every team except for this team here on the Carolina Panthers don't believe in taking a running back. There, other teams see the values of the running backs. And just how I said it, you get one early, you don't have to worry about paying them for 3 to 5 years. So we're the only team that thinks it's stupid to go out here and take a look at the Falcons. Falcons would have got Bijan Robinson last year. That's
First
their guy
round.
for the foreseeable
Thought
future
that was their
in the
guy.
first round.
Yeah.
And I can promise you, they're not gonna give this cat a contract when his extension is up. I mean, when his 5th year option is up. I can promise you that because
Oh,
they're gonna say, why I pay him? He'll be 25 or so, or 26, or maybe he'll be closer to 27 at that age. I'm not sure what his age is, but he'll be closer to 30, and they're not gonna pay that guy. So what I'm looking at is you got Trey Benson, Jonathan Brooks, Blake Corum, a bunch of guys. If you see talent, you go get talent, bro. Stop bullshitting around,
no,
waiting
it's
for the
not.
third or the 5th round or the 6th round that you think is the best guy. You go get your guy if you see talent. Stop
Okay,
bullshitting on
okay.
talent.
No, 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 no. It's not that. It's not that, my guy. I'm gonna tell you the truth. When Atlanta got Bijan Robinson last year, I consider it a stupid move. And the reason why I consider it a stupid move, because you had players like Jalen Carter still in the draft. You had more like you had better options at picks that should have been before Bijan Robinson in my book. And the fact that they already had a running back that had eclipsed over 1,000 years, over 1,000 yards the year before. So to me, I thought they wasted that pick.
Yeah, but they're a team that said, "Hey, we want to run the ball," and what better way of running the ball by going into Texas and bringing one of the strongest bell cow backs out there that one didn't have an issue in running balls. And you saw that cat right there when he was running. He came out of his rookie year and almost cracked 1,000 yards, 4 touchdowns. And he almost had almost 5 yards a carry. So I don't think it was a stupid pick at the time. You were laughing at the Falcons and saying, "Ha ha, them stupid birds when they got a running back." But guess what? 1,000 yards for a rookie is pretty damn good. He got more yards than Chuba Hubbard, and Chuba Hubbard is what, third year, fourth year,
Yeah,
third year?
yeah,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
saying that. But just the year
But
before,
what I'm saying, Mike, is look at what you got when you wait and you go get a running back in the later round. You get Chuba Hubbard versus they went and got the talent that they need immediately as a rookie, and he
Yeah.
putting his stuff out there. That's all
And
I'm
what a
saying.
lot of people, what a lot of people fail to realize,
Pause.
it's just like 336 was saying. This is still a business, bro. You still got to get people in here to sell jerseys and do commercials and be the face of this franchise. You know what I'm saying? So still have to have charismatic guys. You know what I'm saying? That people want to come in here and play with. You still got to have the name to put asses in the seat. And Bijan Robinson was a explosive college player, played at a Power Five school, everything like that. He had all the prerequisites coming in the door. And basically, like you said, they said they wanted to run the ball. That's why Arthur Smith last year, that's why he committed to. And goddamn it, that boy ran it.
Yeah, he did
So
good. He did good. I can't knock the move because they set out to get what they was looking for. Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson is a 1-2 punch that they say, hey, we want to go through. We don't want to pay these boys for a little while.
yeah,
And we want to make sure that we don't have to pay a quarterback for a while because what they've been doing, it was an ingenious thing until they realized Desmond Ritter wasn't shit. And then
yeah.
after they got rid of Ritter, they turn around and they say, okay, well, we're going to have to pay a quarterback. We don't have to worry about paying a running back right now. Only person we got to pay now is Kyle Pitts for the moment. So that's a win-win for them. Either way. All I'm saying for us, the smart thing is if you keep BSing, you keep bullshitting around the talent that you actually need, you'll end up with a Miles Sanders that you got from free agency that you saw in here that was dumpster juice last year. And then you look around, you see a guy like Chuba Hubbard, who is probably the bottom of a barrel, a tier two running back
After signing,
at best.
you're gonna
That's all
back
I'm
yourself
saying.
I mean,
into a
I get
corner
what you're
with him
saying.
after signing.
That's all I'm saying, dog.
It's
And
just,
like he said right here, Chuba had more carries than Bijan and still couldn't get the yardage he got.
I feel you, but
But
I
what?
don't know, man, because we can say
Emotion,
no, it's not
emotion,
emotion. It's not emotion
emotion,
because it's actually logic
emotion.
because you mentioned Bijan Robinson, but also I gotta think about that run game that they got in Miami. Neither one of them boys went in the first round. Neither one of them
Well,
boys went in the
Devin
second round.
Chain was like a third round running back, but guess what? Are they winning in Miami? Is the
They
question.
a lot
It's not
more
a
than
winning.
Atlanta did.
It's not a winning style of football that they're playing over in Miami. Once
They won a
again,
lot. They won a lot more than Atlanta did.
they're more threat. They're a passing threat. And think about it.
All day.
You got
All day.
Jalen Waddle and you got what's the Tyreek Hill. You give them short screens and they take short screens for 20, 25 yards. Now be
I,
mindful when it comes time for the playoffs, what they do. They get up in them and they press them. And guess what they do? They fold. Because
you
their
say
offense
that.
is predicated on timing. They
You
don't have
say that.
running backs. Okay, fuck it. Don't
You
listen to
say
me.
that, but almost every game Miami had over 200 rushing yards.
And what
Almost
did they
every
do in
game.
the playoffs? And when it mattered the most is what I'm talking about. Playoffs. See, in case you forgot, this thing is about winning and hosting Lombardies. And when it's time to get in playoffs, you give a defensive coordinator that team to go and they press them boys and they automatically force them hands. And they say, hey, I'm going to throw off your timing. I'm going to dare you to run the ball against me. And they couldn't do it in the playoffs. Can't pass. No, you can't throw. Guess what? Out of the playoffs.
Well, it wasn't even playoff time. Go back, Mike, and look at Miami's schedule. And look at the team they won against. Look at the team they lost against. Hell, Buffalo done won that division 4 times in a row. They can't out physical them. When it's time to be physical, that's all you gotta do is go get up in their shit.
Yes, sir. That's
Buffalo
all you
don't
got
win
to
that
do.
4 years in a row.
That's all you got to do. Get up in there, get up in Tyreek chest and throw off his route timing. Bada boom. The quarterback tour is a timing guy. The whole thing is predicated on timing, dog. So when it comes to Miami, they want to build Carolina like Miami, and I said that would be a mistake to do
That's a
because
mistake.
if you got a quarterback that struggles with timing, and that means you gotta have your receivers open at all time, and that's not winning football when it comes time to slow things down, and you give the defensive coordinators a week or so the game plan for you. It's gonna be over because they're gonna take away what you do best.
When you play
I
against a
don't think
physical
that's a good
team,
idea. Yeah.
shit, you don't stand a chance.
Come on, man. Y'all already know what time it is. If y'all just getting up in here, like the video. There's 98 of you guys in here. Do us the favor and subscribe to the channel on your way on in. Look, it's that real talk today. Y'all already see what time it is. Derrick Brown got signed. It's a beautiful day in the Carolina Panther world. Make sure y'all do us the favor and like the video. Do us that illustrious favor and keep us in the algorithm. Look, I want to win football and I want to win long term. And if I have to do that in the best way, I would take my time and draft a running back here. I would not extend Chuba Hubbard because to me, I don't want to pay any running back after paying Miles Sanders and I didn't get the output that I needed from him. So if I have to stick with a running back, I got to stick with Miles Sanders and I pray that he give me something for what I'm paying him for. But in the meantime, I'm going to go out and get a young guy that I can depend on just in
Okay,
case because
what pick are you using for the running back then?
it don't fucking matter, Mike.
No, I'm
This
asking.
is
Because
what
you
I
said
keep
you were
trying to
going.
tell you, dog. You keep trying to put a pick to a running back position.
No,
There's no
you did. You
need.
said get one in. You said
When I said that,
earlier.
I
Earlier.
said, now, how you gonna tell me what I said? I literally said the Falcons went and got their guy. They didn't look at a pick. They went and got theirs in the first round. I said the Lions went and got their guy. They went and got theirs in the first round. I said don't put a number on these picks. So tell me what I said after that.
Before that, you said the running backs that if you could that you would draft in this draft. You mentioned Jonathan Brooks. You mentioned Braylon Allen, and I'm saying which pick would you use to get one of those guys?
Bro, they're going to be available. You can get them in the third round. You can get them in the fourth round. You can get them some
Nigga,
of them in the
that's what I
second round.
just said.
I'm just saying. I don't put a specific number on it like you do. You're saying, well, I'll wait till the fifth round and go get a guy. The
No,
guy you
that's
looking
not
for
what
may
I
not
said.
be there. I'm
I
just
said
saying.
third or fourth round,
Oh my
and I
God,
said
Mike.
because of this draft is so deep, you can probably get one of those guys in the third or fourth round. Those are my exact words, and you just said exactly what I said.
Mike,
Ain't this a bitch?
you wake up out the bed, you want to argue with me. I'm not arguing with you today about no goddamn
Nah,
position.
nigga.
At the end of
You
the
literally
day,
just
at
said
the end of the
exactly what I
whatever,
said.
Mike, whatever the fuck you said is okay. I'm saying, dog, running
What was
back,
all
you
that
need it.
debating for then?
You need a goddamn running back. Stop the bullshit and get your talent. I've said this all day. You act like you don't hear that.
No, I said get a running back. Nigga, I agree that Braylon Allen would be perfect, how big he is. I even said they're making a business decision of when to try to tackle this nigga. And I said the same thing you fucking said, and you just went on a sprout and then turn around and echo
Well, guess
exactly
what,
what I
Mike?
said.
Guess what? You go on a sprout every time you open your mouth. You don't see me get
You're
bent out
right.
of shape about it. So goddamn
You're
it,
right.
it's about time me, the host of the show, have a sprout on my own.
Go
Goddamn.
ahead. I was just curious.
Boy, I tell you, crazy motherfucker, you. Anyway, what I
No, we're
wanted
not
to say
putting that
is,
one on me.
you gotta get a running back, cause whether you get him from the second or the fifth or whatever you want to call it, you got to get one in this draft. Like I said, there's a lot of positions you got to look at too. Tight end is another position. That's a must for this draft right
That's
here.
a must.
We
That's a must.
cannot,
That's a must.
you cannot
That's a
pass
must.
over the tight end position again this year. You got to get talent through the door for your young quarterback to have. We don't have a blanket. Tommy Trimble is an average guy at best, but he is no guy. He is no Jatavion Sanders. He is no Jaheim Bell, uh, Cade
Benson,
Stover, Ben Sinnott. He's not none of those guys.
Yeah. Yeah,
Those
none of
guys
them
are
guys.
breakout
You just
guys.
y'all just named four guys. You know what I'm saying that you can get in any of these picks, late round, third round, fourth rounder. Now, if we don't come out with one of them motherfucking guys right there, something wrong.
Hmm.
I'm
Terribly wrong.
mad as hell. Cause,
And
'cause
why?
like
And why
I
you
had
mad,
said this
Mike?
before. I said this before. I said this draft is so deep with so many premium positions that it's going to push some of the good talent back. So your tight ends you can fix, your running backs you can fix. You you might have to choose between one important position or the other. Like a lot of people saying you got to get a receiver, you got to get a defensive end. I feel you got to get a defensive back. I think one of those three are not going to get drafted. Just my personal opinion. So it's not like you're gonna be able to fill all the holes this year unless you trade back. And I don't know if that they open for business to try to trade back because they keep saying best player available.
I hear you, driver. Well, I'll tell you like this right here. There's positions that still need to be addressed. To me, like I said, I'll judge this team as an entirety after I see if they, address the tight end position. They got to address the edge rusher position. Running back is another position that we need to make sure that we look after and make sure if those three positions have some type of merit to it this year in the draft, we might have a chance to see what this team could be. I'm not making any type of assumptions. All I'm gonna say is it's gonna be a rough year. It's gonna be a rough schedule, but you just have to sit here and see if any type of promise can come out of this. Because that's all I'm looking for this season for. It's gonna be to see if I can see any promise out of one, the offensive line. Out of two, I want to see what the defense is gonna look like. Three, I want to see what the young weapons along with your quarterback could potentially look like this year. That's all I'm looking for this entire season. Um, and it's not much to ask for, but it's the position that you're in when you kind of in a when you're in a rebuild. That's all you can really hope for. So shout out to Rocket Blue for that $2 super chat. He said you can get Bell in the fifth. Jaheim Bell. That's a great pass catching option. He's also a guy that can actually get out and block. I think he would be an instant upgrade over Tommy Tremble, or I think you could use him as a dual tight end set. Tommy Tremble and him together would be good to see on the field. But you just can't go in this season alone with Tommy Tremble by himself. We need more.
Not at all.
What
Tommy
you got in your
Tremble,
mind, Go?
Tommy Tremble by himself is not enough. Tommy Tremble is not a premier tight end. Not going to be. Tommy Tremble done been here. This is going on his third year here, and I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it at all. You got to draft a tight end. Got to. Mike, you said earlier, edge rusher. You got to acknowledge the edge. Edge is a premium position. If not the second, it's the third position on a team that you're looking for. You got the quarterback, and you got to stop the quarterback. Then you got to have your left tackle to stop that edge rush. So you got to draft an edge rush. Now I know a lot of these people out here want to see wide receiver at 33. Hey, I can say you can go there 65, something like that. Don't go past 65. They're gonna be talent in this draft right here. This draft right here for the what do they say? The Canales Morgan era. That's what they called it
Yes,
in
sir.
Mike K's article. The Canales
Mm-hmm.
Morgan era. Now the Canales Morgan era has to have 33, 39, and 65 Q. 33, 39, and 65 is going to be the Canales Morgan era's guys because you didn't have a first round pick. 33, 39, and 65. Whoever it is drafted at those positions right there are going to be the Canales Morgan era guys. and they better hit.
I
They
agree
better
with
hit
you
on.
1,000%.
That's all I got to say. I don't. I wouldn't give it. If it's a running back, if it's a kicker, they better hit. He better be the
Yeah.
baddest kick. He better be a kicking mother. He better be able to kick that motherfucker to 77, the highway, the interstate 77. But they better hit. They better hit
Yes,
on
sir.
them.
Which is a valid point because I I said this a couple times. I got crucified for it. I said if to me they get the priority positions, which in my book I always say it is defensive back and defensive end, the first two picks at 65. If I'm looking at to the point where it looks like I'm reaching for a wide receiver, but Jonathan Brooks is there, I'm probably going Jonathan Brooks
That would be a
because
good pick at 65. A great pick.
because of I feel the best way. Some people say you got to get a receiver to help Bryce Young. Well, one of the best ways to help your quarterback is to upgrade your defense and have a stellar run game. It takes away time of you keep time of possession. You can shut down some shit. It allows you to open up play action. People always talk about how he had a better year when he had the running back that's in Detroit because Jonathan Brooks can catch good out the backfield. He averages about 7 yards per catch. So you give him a security blanket. You give him someone that he can hand the ball off and just take off and dominate on the field. So if 65 is there and Jonathan Brooks is there, and let's say Xavier Leggett, Keenan Coleman, all the top receivers, Purcell, all the top receivers are off the board, and now it looks like you're reaching trying to get a receiver. I say
Hmm.
don't reach. Keep the motto, best player available. Holler at Jonathan Brooks if you can pick him up right there and call it a day.
You got a good point, Mike. That's all I can tell you. Cause they got to hit. They got to hit on them picks.
And then the next pick, of course,
One
I'm
of them.
going Cade Stover, but that's just me.
Yeah. They got to
To
hit on
me,
them more
seeing
so
zero
than on
drops,
any other pick.
seeing zero
Cause
drops from a tight end is like the sexiest thing you can see on the stat. When you look at his tight end, and that should say zero drops, and anything up north of 500, 600 yards, and you ain't got a single drop, I'm almost saying that's a must have.
yeah.
But that's my
I
opinion.
think I think them boys' backs are against the wall. Q. If you said something about a hot seat. You know what I'm saying? They in a hot seat on this draft right here, cause that starts their era. If it don't work this year, you know, offensively, defensively, or whatever, it's gonna be a lot of finger pointing.
Nick, I cannot pronounce your whole name, but I've been screaming that, and half the time I get crucified when I say we need a CB right away. But that's just my opinion. Everybody got ain't got to follow it. But I've been crucified when I say get a CB at 33 or 39, and the other one be a defensive end. I've been crucified for saying that. Everybody say, no, you got to get a receiver. All right, whatever you fucking say. Let everybody come in this bitch look like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes every fucking week if you want to.
No, I ain't gonna say. I ain't gonna say. I ain't gonna say. I ain't gonna say.
Nah, go
But
get in my ass if you want to. You know I don't give
no,
a shit.
I ain't gonna. What you said, what you just said right there, talking about let everybody come in this week look like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, you correct. You're absolutely correct. But it's a couple more pieces as well. I mean, putting this whole thing together. But like Q said, a thing, you in a rebuild. Whether they want to say it or not, you're in a rebuild because of the move that they made, free agency already this offseason, whatever. And then people are still out there saying, uh, we're gonna trying to get some more money off the books or something like that. Still, two or three, Gilmore, Higgins, and
That
what
Higgins
what name,
shit still
Cephas,
when we
and
signed
all them
Derrick
guys.
Brown.
You're still trying to bring in people. You're still trying to bring in people. So it's a work in progress. Let's just say it
Fact.
like that. I say it like that and leave
Right now, what you're looking for this year is not W's. It's something to build off on. At the beginning, before the year ended, did the defense go from this to being stellar? Do we have a solid run game that we can at least run the ball down the throats? Did Bryce Young grow and start getting more consistent and being productive? You're not looking for W's because the schedule's too horrific for that. Everybody
Well,
in here, anybody that's screaming 9 wins or NFC South champs or any of that ridiculous bullshit, that's not
slow
what you're
your
looking
roll,
for
Mike.
this year.
Slow your roll, Mike. Let people believe what they want to believe in. Today is just a day we re-sign a player. So slow your roll. Slow your
But
roll.
uh, it's the fact that for me, okay, I'll just say for me. For me, I'm looking for the progression. Can we run the ball effectively and consistently? Are we averaging over 100 yards a game when we run the ball? Or is the defense, even if they start off struggling, by the end of the year, are we averaging sacks? Hold on.
Guess this nigga. Well, we appreciate
it.
Mike for his soliloquy. Shout out to everybody in the chat. 92 of you guys over there. Make sure you do us a favor and like the video. Go. I don't think I ever got your thoughts and your opinion on the Derrick Brown signing. How are you feeling about Derrick Brown?
Well, Derrick Brown's one of my players. Y'all see me before at the games with a 95 jersey on, with the brown jersey on. He's one of my guys. We drafted him.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, he's one of our pups that we drafted. We sat there. I was with Derrick Brown when people was calling what fat boy and
Winnie the Pooh. They call him every name in the
Winnie the
book.
Pooh and all that shit. With it, oh, he don't get sacks. I argue with people and argue with people. That's not his game. Never have been. Matt Rule tried to make him lose weight to become a three technique. That's not his game. Never has been. He was drafted sole purpose to play beside K.K. Short, a three technique. That's his game as a zero, a two, a run stuffer. Double team. Man that takes on double team. That big cog in the middle. To make running backs have to bounce out and change direction. Disruptor. Okay. If you pay him like the Mike K article said, a PR move for public relations, or you acknowledge that you messed up some of these contracts in the past, this year, whenever. We're not gonna get into that. But maybe Q, this is the right step, and I'm with it.
Yeah,
You understand
I'm
what I'm saying?
definitely with him getting his
Maybe,
change. I'm definitely
yeah.
with that.
Going forward, we start paying our guy that's here. We start holding back the dragon eggs, as y'all heard me talk about before, the draft picks. Now let's have 2 and 3 picks in the first round, or multiple seconds, multiple whatever, and then we can start drafting backups on top of backups with talent. You know what I'm saying? And then we got, oh, man go down, next man come in, just damn, that may be better in some arguments. But it's gonna take a minute to get there. It's gonna take a little bit to get there. So that's how I feel about it.
Well, This is one of those things where I think it's a step in the right direction, and as long as they keep this stuff up, we'll be fine, bro. Now from here on out, like I said, whether I agree or disagree with any of the other moves, I'm not going to challenge that or push that off today as as what I want to get into. But I'll say this: we have a lot of players that's on this roster right now that we need to take the time to potentially, try to work out deals with. Whether that's JC Horn to potentially work out deals with Chuba Hubbard. Like I said, Brown just got his extension today. He's being paid now as the fourth highest paid player at the D tackle position, and that's pretty good considering where he started at and the Pro Bowl that he made last year. I'm very proud of him and the numbers that he put forth. So this is an exciting day. If you're a Carolina Panther right now, you should be jumping up and down because you got the foreseeable guy that's the face of your franchise somewhat right now. I don't think there's no. Is there somebody that's the bigger face of the franchise? Go. Is there
Yeah,
anybody on this team that's a bigger face of the franchise than Derrick Brown right now?
I hate to say it, but the quarterback.
Oh, the quarter, he's the face right now, not Derrick Brown. I thought they said Derrick Brown is the best player on this team.
But unfortunately, the quarterback is the face.
Okay, well I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll stomach that in with it. Then, that's one of those things where I'm not gonna trip.
I'm not going. I'm being reserved.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Uh,
appreciate your reserve. It's one of those ones. It's we gonna let that go. But shout out to everybody in the chat. This is one of the ones. It's Friday afternoon. We just wanted to come and break the news to you that Derek Brown was going to be the guy, the face. Um, as we go forward, right now we're gonna keep everybody eyes and ears posted to the way that everything is going. So do us the illustrious favor and subscribe to the channel on your way in. Like I say, it's 99 of you guys watching right now. Like the video, do us that favor right now. If you're on Twitter right now and you haven't, make sure you come on over to YouTube and like the video. Do us that favor. Shout out to everybody in the chat as well. We can start getting last words. Michael, you still there?
I hear you, JP.
All right. Well, go give me your last words, Doc.
Hey man, hey, we been man. The members only, man. Panther After Dark is a success. Members only for the members, by the members. Y'all know how we do, man. Hey, we've been rocking out here for the last 2 weeks, man. Hey, hell of a conversation on Thursday nights. Y'all keep coming in, man. Y'all keep showing that love. Y'all keep the memberships up. Hey man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
This has been your boy Dub Q, and I want to make sure that you guys understand where we're sitting at. It is not a bad day at all. Derek Brown has been re-signed. You should keep your heads hold up high. From here on out, you have a reason to simply say, "Hey, we did something good today," and use that for your inspiration going on for the next couple of days. You're going to need this. And what I tell you from here, y'all see it in the chat. Join the tailgate today. Sub to the tailgate experience. That's our all NFL football channel. Do us
You're
that
welcome.
favor. Oh, well, okay. Welcome back, Mike. Give us your last words while you here.
Um, I'm glad that they lifted the morale of the locker room. I felt like that was much needed. Um, like you said, Q, they just got to stay on the trajectory. They got to stay making impact moves. And Go said it best earlier. The goal's gonna be the draft is gonna be tell all. What happens in the draft means more than any year that we've been in a position to see what we can really do. The Dan, what was it? The Dan
Madness
Morgan
Morgan
and
era.
the Morgans and Canellas era begin. It could fall apart if they do this draft the wrong way. And I'm gonna leave it at
Got
that.
that right.
Well, we're hoping that things don't fall apart. So make sure, look, as guests, as viewers, we do our part. Will this team on into being great this year? I want you guys to take your time, say a little prayer for the team right now, and hope that it works out for the team in the best way that it can possibly. This has been your boy Dub Q. I would like to welcome you guys to the Black Cat Panther podcast. Do us that favor, like I said, like the video on your way in today. Like your video if you haven't, if you're still sitting here watching, and do us that favor and subscribe to the channel. I also want to make sure that you understand we have memberships as well. Become a member today. We have it on subscriber mode for anybody that's sitting here wondering. Make sure you do your part and become a subscriber. But if not, it's till we see you guys again.
Yeah.